What is going on? It's our time to be free family. This is your girl Jay coming to you with another training video about social anxiety. So in today's video, I want to give you some practical tips for living with social anxiety. I created another video before on different ways, two different ways that I actually deal with my own social anxiety. Please feel free to check out that video at your leisure. So let's jump right into this. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please go ahead, if you enjoy this content, please go ahead and give it a like, share it out to people that may be able to benefit from it. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you'll be notified of when I create new content, when I upload new content. So let's jump right into this. I'm gonna give you guys 4 practical tips that will help you, live with social anxiety. Guys, first of all, if you suffer from social anxiety, guys, there can be times when it really feels completely overwhelming. I know it does for me. It feels so overwhelming that sometimes I have to, leave a situation and avoid a situation altogether because I know my anxiety level just goes straight through the roof. I start having panic attacks and I cannot stay there. But I found some very effective ways to start dealing with my social anxiety. Guys, because even the smallest things, the most common things that we do on an everyday basis, things like going to the grocery store, or we might have a meeting that we have to go to, or a party that we might want to go to or been invited to. These things, just these common things, can seem impossible to do, and it may bring on a panic attack. But guys, I'm gonna tell you right here and right now that there are some effective things that you can do to help manage your anxiety so that you can start reclaiming your life back. Because I always say it's our time to be free. We should be living our life without limits, living our life, the way that we want to live our life. And anxiety should not be a part of that. So, these are things that you can do to help that anxiety when it does arise. Now, the very first thing that you can do is breathe. Breathe slowly in and out. Breathe. Most people, they don't know how to breathe properly because when they're stressed out, our breathing, when we get stressed out about something, if you pay attention, our breathing becomes shallow and fast. And that really feeds our anxiety, and it puts us into panic mode. So, but we can reclaim or regain some control over our anxiety simply by learning how to control our breath. So, here's a exercise that I want you to try. Try sitting quietly and allow your shoulders to relax. Just allow your shoulders to relax and in a quiet atmosphere. All right? Because a lot of times tension gets built up into the shoulders, and it makes our breathing more constricted, more confined. So one way that you can help, release that constriction is to raise your shoulders up to your ears as you breathe, just like this. As you breathe in, and then as you exhale out, allow your shoulders to just drop, and let your shoulders continue to drop down, drop down, drop down until you're in a relaxed state. You may have to do this several times, but it allows you to, pay attention to your breath, control your breathing, and allow your shoulders to just relax. And as you're doing this, put one hand on your stomach and the other hand on your chest, and breathe in slowly and gently to the count of 4. Now don't gasp and don't force it. Just allow your breath to flow down into your stomach. And you may want to hold it for a second or two before, before releasing that breath as you counting up to 6. Now repeat this exercise a few times until you're feeling more and more relaxed. Now, if you don't remember these steps, please feel free to, rewind this video, watch and watch the steps again in the notes that I've provided for you on the slide, so that you can kind of, get to know this exercise and practice it, you know, when you are, maybe having an anxiety attack, or even before that attack even happens, you can kind of put yourself into a more relaxed state. All right. Next thing that you can do is prepare. Guys, when we know we're facing or going to face some type of scary social situation, it might be a party, or maybe a date, or even a work meeting. Guys, sometimes if we prepare for those situations, it makes it a little more easy to control. You'll feel a whole lot more in control if you prepare for it, okay? So imagine yourself in the scenario, whatever scenario that situation that you're about to encounter. Imagine yourself in that scene, but imagine yourself handling it calmly and very well. It also might be a good idea for you to write yourself a script, or at least some important, bullet points that you might want to remember. And it also might help to, it might help you, I don't know. It might help you to know that some people get so nervous about public speaking that, they make sure they write their name down in their speech in case they forget it. So, you know, I don't know if that situation, that scenario right there makes you feel good and better about yourself, but there are some people who actually write their name down because they forget their own name. So don't feel bad, when you're, getting ready to face some type of situation that that you really want to avoid altogether, because we all go through some kind of phase in our life, some type of situation in our life where we're fearful and anxiety steps in. And what you can also do is, do some meditation or breathing exercises beforehand. That way you'll feel less nervous. I do meditation on a regular basis. So I've kind of learned to, monitor my breathing, control my breath, and it also helps me just to have meditation, just helps me have a peace of mind. All right, the next thing is to knock down those negative thoughts. Guys, get rid of those negative thoughts. I know that is easier said than done because we have so many negative thoughts going through our heads all day long. But negative messages is part of social anxiety. So, you want to turn that script upside down. Those negative messages that's running through your head, turn them upside down by challenging each of those negative thoughts as they come up. Okay, and remind yourself that you have dealt with those challenges that you have dealt with, not maybe that exact situation, but you have dealt with some kind of challenging situation before, and you've done very fine. So remind yourself of those situations where you have overcome that challenge, because that would actually help you get rid of those negative thoughts. And the next one is to stay in the moment. Guys, we have to be present. If the negative thoughts, that we have, it seems to threaten us. And then what happens is we tend to run away. And like I said before, I was one where I had so many negative thoughts going through my head, I just avoided situations altogether because I allowed my anxiety to rise up. I haven't even gotten into the situation yet. I allowed my anxiety to rise up so much that it just went through the roof, and I just avoided the situation altogether. And I used avoidance to, to deal with my anxiety. But I learned that that's not really an effective way to deal with anxiety at all. We shouldn't avoid it. So what I want you to do is just take a moment to set aside and use mindfulness to keep coming back to the present moment. You know, because a lot of times we find ourselves, being worried about the future, or being worried about what's going to happen when it haven't even happened yet. Okay? So use mindfulness to bring yourself back to the present. And if you're not quite sure what mindfulness is, it's just being able to be in the present moment by, thinking about or envisioning, what you can see at the moment, what you can hear right then. You might be walking down the street, heading to a meeting or something, or business meeting, and your anxiety is starting to rise up. You can feel your heart pounding because you're afraid if you're going to do well in that presentation, you know or you're afraid that you aren't going to, you're going to forget what you're going to say if you're into public speaking. You have to speak in front of a crowd. So what you want to do is, as you're walking down the street, pay attention. Are there buses going by? You know, what kind of sounds are you hearing? Are you hearing people walk? What can you touch at that moment? What can you smell in that moment? Or sometimes, what can you even taste, when you're in your current surroundings? And this will help you ground yourself in the present moment. This can actually help you anchor yourself in the here and now, instead of being carried away by those worries I talked about, that's leading you into some type of, fearful future or scary future, or, thinking about something that happened in the past if you failed at something. So you want to actually stay in the moment, stay in the here and now, so that you can help ground yourself. So guys, I really hope that this short presentation was really helpful to you, so that you can start living your life, living your life with social anxiety. Because we don't want to, be on medication all our lives, and pumping our bodies full of these, medications. I'm not saying medications are bad, but this is a more natural way for you to really help, deal with your anxiety when you get into situations that, makes your anxiety go through the roof. All right. So again, I'm glad you guys stayed to the end of this presentation. Please feel free to like this video if you found some value from it. Hit the subscribe button, if you want to see more content that I have. And don't forget to hit the bell button so that you'll know when I upload new videos, new content. So I really appreciate you guys. And like I always say, it's our time to be free. We don't have to live with social anxiety. All right, we can find ways to help us manage those anxiety issues that we deal with. All right, so you guys take care. I'll see you in the next video.